Your reaction was this expected as the process started to unfold?
I think over the last few days it became pretty clear that the Republicans didn't have enough votes to pass this. When you saw polls like came out yesterday, only 17% of the American people thought this was a good idea, and then you had the American Hospital Association, the American Medical Association, the nurses, the AARP, virtually every healthcare advocacy group saying it was a bad idea. It was hard to see where there was enough momentum behind this ill-advised legislation.
Congressman Margaret, Talev here.
Margaret.
Hi. Could you talk a little bit about how concerned you are about what happens next? President Trump seems to be indicating that he wants to either just sit back and let what's left of the Affordable Care Act implode, or perhaps put his thumb on the scale a little bit as well, and at the same time saying he wants to work with Democrats once you get civilized. So is there anything to work with? And are you concerned about people's health care coverage in sort of the weeks and months to come as part of a strategy?
Well, first of all, let me say that President Trump's last comment that I heard, that people didn't know how good this bill was, I would remind him, he just said people didn't know that Lincoln was a Republican. So, I would question his assessment of what the American people know and don't know. But there are clearly problems with the Affordable Care Act. We all admit that. They largely exist in the individual insurance marketplace, which is 5 to 6% of the population. We had mechanisms in the original Affordable Care Act to help indemnify insurance companies to help them make that market more sustainable. Republicans undermined those by basically defunding them, and we've seen the results. So there are some pretty easy responses to solving the problem in that area, and we would love to work with either Secretary Price or the administration or Republicans in Congress to make the individual insurance market more sustainable. We have to do that.
Congressman, in his remarks a few moments ago, the president noted that Obamacare, in his words, was imploding, and he mentioned the visit that he made to Kentucky just a while ago. Can you tell us how the Affordable Care Act is working in the Commonwealth?
Well, I think anybody who's objective has looked at the Kentucky experience and observed that it is one of the most successful implementations of the Affordable Care Act. More than 500,000 people have coverage now who did not have it before. Hospitals that were at risk of defaulting and going out of business are now doing well. We have very little uncompensated care now, and the vast majority of Kentuckians have access to quality health care. It's been a godsend for many of my constituents, and we reduced the uninsured rate in Kentucky from about 20% to 7%. So for him to talk about Kentucky as an example of things that are going wrong is just totally at odds with the facts.